Okay, now it's official. Okay, good morning. How is everybody? I keep saying I'm going to remove all the chairs from the back 2 rows, and I just keep forgetting. So y'all get to sit back there again today, all 6 of you. All right, what's good this morning? What's good? What's good? Oh, Dawn has to have something good. She's recovering from her trip to Paris. Dawn, how was it? She's like,
It was a lot of fun.
that's all you were in Paris for a week, and that's the sentence you have for us?
I'm still tired.
Well, we're glad you made it back safely.
I mean, you saw all my stuff on Facebook, so
I did.
that
Adam and I were saying yesterday we felt like we went to Paris. We followed along with your whole trip.
good. That was my intention. It was a lot cheaper for you guys.
I liked your post though about like the pass you got to like get around cheaper. You should put together like a whole, these are the things I learned, like that. I need that.
It's a lot of walking. I'm still recovering from that.
So you're taking a day of rest.
Couple days of rest.
There you go. All right, what else is good this morning? What's good?
I was nice to a co-op yesterday that didn't deserve it.
I was here
And
for
by
that.
nice, I mean gave Megan my laptop so she could reply to the email, because if I would have, oh Jesus, it would have been bad.
What happened?
Oh, you don't want to know.
Don't make her.
Don't make me relive it because I'm still working on
You
it.
want me to give the 30-second version of it?
Yes, because this is
Yeah, this is a teachable
this is
moment.
actually
We
a
can do
teachable
that.
moment. So yes.
Okay, Tania she has the listing and she had a buyer reaching out to her directly, giving her orders of how to schedule things and when things needed to be done. And the co-op agent was included on all of these emails, but didn't really feel the need to participate. And so Tania couldn't give any information about her seller and why her seller needed things a certain way. And then the buyer just became pretty belligerent.
Irate.
So we used it as an opportunity to, instead of yelling and screaming, to educate the buyer
Or
that
cussing.
bypassing their agent was not an appropriate way to communicate, that they really needed to go back to their agent, that license law prohibits her from acting under the direction of the buyer, that she can only do that for the seller. And so then the buyer's agent got a little bit upset because they got thrown under the bus, but there was not really anything else they could have done. So it was just everybody got a little tense, but okay. Let's get started. You get me by myself today and BJ in the car. So you either get to hear me talk for 45 minutes straight, or you guys can talk at me because I don't really need to hear myself for 45 minutes. All right, let's start with some announcements. And then I gotta be honest, I'm kind of excited about where today wound up. We'll see if all of my technology works for me, but okay, we're wrapping up September. We're in the final week of September. We have team meeting and Capra call, and then a reminder to our Peoria agents. We have installation of officers Thursday night at 5 o'clock. Max is involved in that installation. This is his first year on the board in Peoria. So if you can make it out, please support him. I did reach out to PAR yesterday and make sure there were tickets still available. So I didn't misspeak this morning, and there are, but you have to purchase them by noon today. So if you are able to go, we would love to see you. A couple dates, you'll have the October calendar. I have that pretty well done. I just need to get with Adam on a couple of things, but I wanted to throw some dates out to you. Our holiday party, Jesse, do I have the times right on this? 6 to 10? Okay, I put that in my calendar, but I very well could have just made that up. So it is 6 to 10. So our holiday party is December 9th. Hopefully you and your spouse, your partner, whoever you would like to bring are available. Please put this on your calendars. I will get out an Evite for this. It's at Anjou above. So if you've been with us for a couple of years, this is where we'd had it, not last year, but the previous years. So we're going back to Anjou. Honestly, the food is really good, and that's probably what drove us back to Anjou. So come hungry. Somebody's going to text me after this and ask me what the attire is. I'm going to call it cocktail attire. But if you show up in jeans, we're not going to send you home. Please don't show up in jeans. All right, business planning clinic. This was supposed to be on the 17th, but BJ, as our almighty OP, has to make a mad dash to Austin for a company and an all KWRI leadership meeting. So we had to move this a little bit. So now it's going to be Friday, October 20th, 9 to 4 here in the Market Center. BJ and I are going to facilitate this together. This is the first time we've done business planning clinic together, but he just likes me so much that he decided this would be more fun to stand up there with me all day. So
Don't ruin it for us now. You get one chance at it.
all right, since you're walking in and you unmuted, you get to tell everybody what business planning clinic is.
It's exactly what it sounds like. This is not just planning your business, it's actually writing a business plan. So 2024, you already know, is going to look different than 2023, which looks different than 2022. So having a new business plan, one that matches your goals and actually matches the market, is going to be hugely important if you're going to be successful in 2024.
Absolutely. We're going to spend the next month talking about some strategies and doing some things. Today's going to kind of kick this off a little bit, but we're going to start the conversations, getting your wheels turning about strategies and things that are going to help you hit your goals. Next year, we are going to spend one entire meeting doing some prep for business planning clinic. So you'll get a reminder when that team meeting is. It's probably going to be just the week before because I want it to be fresh in your minds. But we'll go through the business planning prep packet. So please, please, please do that with us. It's going to make the day so much more impactful for you. If you come into Friday the 20th without any knowledge of what your business did in 2023, it's just going to make the day a little bit harder. So we're going to spend some time reflecting on 2023 and understanding what brought us to where we were. So please do that with us for the month of October, because we all know if we don't do it in business planning clinic, the likeliness of doing it afterwards is pretty slim. So please get that on your calendars. Today, First State Mortgage is catering lunch into the Market Center from Biaggi's at noon. Josh and Jackie Jackson, I believe, will be here. I'm not sure if anybody else from First State Mortgage will be here, but they will be here from 12 to 1 with Biaggi's. So if you are in Bloomington, please head over to the Market Center and eat some carbs so Kelsey doesn't have to eat all of them. Okay, nobody log off because we have to talk about license renewal. We talked about this a little bit last week, but I wanted to make sure that you guys had this graphic here. So if you want to look up your current CE to make sure that it's registered with Illinois Realtors, if you do your CE through a third party, you all get inundated with websites that say, hey, discounted CE, or your home study packets are on special, whatever. You can do that, but if it's not the CE shop or through the association, our association offices, it may not directly get reported to Illinois Realtors. So if you do go through one of those third-party sites, it's your responsibility to make sure that it's registered with the state of Illinois. Otherwise, you can get a fine. So this illinoisrealtors.org/education/lookup, you can just input your name and license number, and it's going to tell you what the state sees for your current CE on this cycle. Everybody has slightly different CE requirements. So this graphic you see on your screen is, I pulled this off of Illinois Realtors. If you go to illinoisrealtors.org, there's an education button, and there's continuing education, sales broker license. It's super easy to get to, but you can find this graphic there, but I wanted to walk through it really quick. So most of you were licensed prior to November 1st, 2021. So anybody licensed prior to then needs 12 hours of CE, That needs to be 4 hours of core and 8 hours of elective, and has to include 1 hour of sexual harassment. Sexual harassment reminder cannot be done in person. So if you do all of your classes in person, there's a 100% chance that you don't have your sexual harassment requirement, because it made people uncomfortable to take sexual harassment in person. So we had to just move that to a home study class. So you also have to have Code of Ethics on a 3-year cycle. Code of Ethics is a national association requirement. Your CE is an Illinois Realtors requirement. So my general rule of thumb is take your Code of Ethics every single time you renew, because Code of Ethics is due every 3 years, CE is due every 2 years. So if you do Code of Ethics every time, you'll always have that met. If you got licensed between November 1st, 2021 and October 31st, 2023, you have to take your 45-hour post-license. If you have anybody looking to get licensed right now, my recommendation for anybody right now is don't activate your license until November 1st, 2023, because then you're going to get pushed to the bottom down here where you don't have to have your 45-hour until 2026. So a lot of times people that just come off of their test don't want to take their 45-hour right away. So if you don't activate your license until November 1st, you've got 2 more years to do it. Any specific questions about this, please reach out to Tracy or myself and we'll help you get it figured out. But your license renewal is due April 30th. If the system goes down, which IDFPR system goes down all the time, you will still get fined for not renewing. They just look at that as, sorry, our system's old and you should do it earlier. So please don't wait until like the 28th or 29th. I would give yourself 4 or 5 business days ahead of time, just in case IDFPR has issues. When the system gets flooded, which it does right before renewal, when the system gets flooded, it tends to just lock up and not work. So heads up on that.
I have just a quick question. So the ethics would count as an elective, is that correct? It's not going to be the core?
I believe your ethics is an elective, yes. Don't hold me to that. I always just take, you have to have Code of Ethics every 3 years. So if you've taken it, there's a chance you may not need it on this renewal cycle, but I just tell everybody take it every time.
You need it.
But Amy, I believe your Code of Ethics is an elective, yes. Okay. This is not time for wants and needs. I just need to change my screen. Okay, we're gonna talk a little bit about AI today. So if you got my email about 20 minutes ago, I gave you a little spoiler alert. AI is kind of a rabbit hole I've been going down the last month or so. I use one AI platform almost daily. I use ChatGPT. We're gonna talk about a couple different ones. But I wanted to talk about AI as a whole. I have been listening to a few podcasts about just understanding what AI is and how it affects what we do daily. We see artificial intelligence far more behind the scenes of what we do than we probably realize. So if you were at Mega Camp, there was an AI playbook that this is one of the things we're going to talk about today, is how you use AI to generate business. AI is a great leverage tool because it does things a lot faster than human activity can do things. But there are some things we have to understand about AI, and there are some things that AI can't do. And then we have to, along with this AI conversation, we have to talk about our data. If you've listened to Gary talk in the last 2 years, he who owns the data is going to get the transaction. And Gary talks a lot about how our data lives in the world, where we put our data, how secure is our data. And as AI becomes more popular and we learn more about it and we can utilize it at a higher level, where we put our data determines where other people can access it and use AI to better their tool, which we're going to talk a lot about that today. But first, in case none of us have a really good understanding of what AI is, this is a short video, small warning, this guy is a tad bit dry, but I think this explanation of AI is just spot on. So we are going to watch this quick video and then we're going to talk about it. Adam, you're going to have to tell me if my volume, if you can't hear this on Zoom for some reason, just put it in the comments. I think you'll be able to.
First thing to realize is that the word artificial in the phrase artificial intelligence is real. And that's not due to me, it's due to one of the pioneers of the subject who happens to be a Christian. And the point is that, and we'll take a narrow AI system first because it's much easier to explain. A narrow AI system is a system involving a high-powered computer, a huge database, and an algorithm that does some picking and choosing, that whose output is something that it normally requires human intelligence to do. That is, if you look at the output, you would say normally that it's taken an intelligent person to do that. So let's take an example that is very important these days in medicine, and that's X-ray, interpreting X-rays. So we have a database, let's say it has 1 million X-rays of lungs that are infected with various diseases, say related to COVID-19. They are then labeled in the database by the world's top experts. Then they take an X-ray of your lungs or my lungs, and the algorithm compares the X-ray of your lungs with the million very rapidly. And it produces an output which says, John Anderson has got that disease. Now, at the moment, that kind of thing, which is being rolled out not only in radiology, but all over the place, will generally give you a better result than your local hospital will. And that's hugely important and hugely valuable. But the point is, the machine is not intelligent. It's only doing what it's programmed to do. The database is not intelligence. The intelligence is the intelligence of the people that designed the computer, know about X-rays and know about medicine. But the output is what you would expect from an intelligent doctor. So it's in that sense artificial. It's a system narrow in the sense it only deals with one thing, and all kinds, endless kinds of systems are being rolled out around the world. And some of them, as you mentioned, are extremely beneficial. Narrow AI has been used in the development of vaccines, and the spin-off from that technology is enormous in drug development. And on it goes. And I could give you dozens of examples, and they're in my book. So that's where we start. Now,
Okay, I'm going to stop there. I like this because I think it's a very black and white understanding of what AI does in this example in the medical industry. So without question, this has the ability to move things like medical research forward. How we look at this in real estate is a tad bit different, but I want to use this understanding that we got of X-rays. Within real estate, I want to think about some of the tools that we use. Almost every tool that we use in real estate uses AI in the background. We use social media, Facebook and Instagram. I think we all know that the algorithms built into Facebook and Instagram use AI. They are one giant database of the activity of what we click on the internet. All of those times we hit accept cookies, and you almost can't not accept them at this point. Every time you hit accept cookies, they're tracking what you click on, and that goes into a giant database that starts to predict what you're going to, what you like. When you look at your Facebook, like my Amazon finds are almost spot on of the things I would shop for on Amazon. That is because that giant database of information has been watching what I click on and is predicting what I would like to buy next. So social media is one. A lot of us use some type of a third-party system to communicate with our clients. MailChimp, for example. MailChimp will take all of the data that you put in. Let's say you put all of your clients in and you send them a newsletter once a month. If that newsletter has images or videos that have higher click rates, MailChimp uses that data as an education tool to teach other realtors to better send newsletters to their clients. So by using third-party systems, we have to be aware that the data that we feed that system, the company is using to better their system to serve their other clients. Because MailChimp, I mean, obviously it's not just realtors, but MailChimp's goal is to have the highest open rate of any mail service like that. And so they're going to put out videos and training. They're going to create templates. They're going to do things that are going to help their consumer have a better experience on their platform. So anything like that that we use, we just have to understand that our data doesn't necessarily stay our data. It may not mean that they're going out and emailing our clients. That's not what we're talking about in artificial intelligence. What we're talking about is the process and systems that we create to best use these tools are also being used by the platform to go out and better the experience for other people. So one of the reasons that Gary has preached to us to go all in on Command is because it is a proprietary software to Keller Williams where your data is not going out and being shared with any other agent at any other company. The more data we feed Command, the smarter Command can become, and Command takes all of that data within our ecosystem and says, Jeff sent out a newsletter or an email or created a design or sent out or created a smart plan, and it got all of these reactions. And so we're going to take that information and we're going to better our smart plans and better our templates and better our connection with Twilio, our integration with applets into Command so that our agents are generating more leads. When we start using systems like MailChimp that are not real estate specific, sometimes it just doesn't work the same way in real estate. Just like you look at how they're using X-rays, AI in X-rays, a doctor that maybe just got out of med school gets to piggyback on the success of a doctor who understands lung disease in COVID-19 patients. And that doctor that just got out of med school now gets a little bit of a leg up that he wouldn't have had before AI was a thing. So you have to just be aware that that happens the same in real estate. So all of the things that that if you kind of go down this rabbit hole of AI, everything within the AI conversation is about who owns the data and where is it shared. So that's always something we have to keep top of mind. You don't want to be dumping all of your data into just any platform. A lot of agents will send me like random requests for like Boomtown websites or those websites that have an IDX feed that also generate leads for you. Know that every one of those websites uses artificial intelligence to take the success of you working your leads and better someone else working their leads. So Zillow's doing this right now. Zillow, Zillow will tell you, put as much information into Zillow as possible and you're going to get more leads. Well, they're also doing that because the artificial intelligence that works behind the scenes is bettering their platform to reach the consumer directly. So this is by no means a scare tactic, but we do have to have an understanding in 2023 of where we put our data and where that goes. So kind of a basic understanding of AI and how it works and what it is, because I think the word artificial is sometimes misleading. It's not artificial intelligence. It's just non-human intelligence. It's taking information we put into a database and at warp speed, filtering that data and giving us an output that we just couldn't humanly do at that rate. So the opportunity within AI is that we can leverage it to do a lot of things a lot faster. And there are a lot of places we can use AI that don't cost us any money. And so this playbook that was shared at MegaCamp talked about just that. And so I want to go through that a little bit today and see, as we're looking at going into 2024, this is 2023, as we start preparing for 2024, I believe there are a lot of ways that we can use AI that we might not be using now that will save us time. This is going to be a year of managing expenses and doing as much as we can to make our world turn faster, to get as many leads as we can while keeping our costs as low as possible. And there are a lot of opportunities within AI to do that. Before we get into that, any thoughts or questions? Okay. First, just a disclaimer that Keller Williams always wants us to touch on. We have to abide by all of the TCPA guidelines. So do not call lists and things like that. If you're using any of this for lead generation to your haven't mets or you're trying to grow your database, just keep in mind, we do have to scrub any list against a do not call list and make sure that we're not calling people that don't want to be talked to. Okay. So I want to give you a quick rundown of the types of things that I use. And I could use this, preparing for today's meeting taught me that I use it for just a very small piece of what I could. I think my struggle, I hope, is the same as a lot of what your struggle is. One of the goals that we have as a market center is to create as much valuable content for you as agents that will help you run and grow your business. You are our clients. And so we are always in this question of how much content can we create? How much valuable content can we create? And do we know whether you believed it was valuable? And BJ and Adam and I go through this all the time. What do the agents want to hear? And our ability to get your feedback, to understand what you guys find valuable and what you don't, and pushing out as much valuable content as possible in the shortest amount of time is necessary. We have to do that now. And creating content takes a lot of time. How many of you, if I told you right now, you have to go post a video on Facebook today about something real estate related, it's not necessarily the fear of a video. It's not necessarily the act of recording it and posting it. It's the content. What am I going to say? Right? That's the thing that stops us. The what am I going to say? AI is an incredible tool for that. I use AI a lot when I need to write a social post. I use ChatGPT. I'm going to try to give you kind of a rundown of ChatGPT. Unfortunately, it was having some technical difficulties this morning, of course. So we're going to see if it works after we go through this. But I use ChatGPT to write social media content. I use it if I need to write a business professional email or letter or some communication that just needs to be a little bit more formal. Instead of taking the time to write it out in a very formal way, think about your listing presentations or something like that. It takes a while to get this as formal as you want. You can put it into ChatGPT and you can say, I want you to make this formal, but you can just give like your brain dump to ChatGPT and it will clean it up. So it allows me to do things like that really, really fast, that before I would probably sit for an hour and make sure that something looked exactly like I wanted. When I'm putting together content for classes that doesn't just exist out there and I want a really sharp PowerPoint with an outline to give to you guys, I use ChatGPT for that now, because it'll take like a big concept and it'll boil it down into 3 bullet points. So sometimes it takes something really big and shrinks it down. Sometimes it just takes my brain dump and it puts it into a clean thought process. Dawn said she used it to rewrite her real estate bio. That's a great thing. How many of you, if I said, okay, we're going to do command websites today, the first thing you need is to do your bio. And you just, oh, I'm frozen right there. Because the time it would take to write your bio, you're going to spend an hour or so with everything that, putting together everything that you want to say. You can throw it into ChatGPT and you can have it done in 5 minutes. So the bulk of what in real estate agents are using AI for is drafting content, number one: newsletters, postcards, video scripts, ad copy, email responses, social media posts, listing descriptions, and more. Listing descriptions is huge. You can ask ChatGPT to write your public remarks, and you can put in there, please write a 100-word description of a 3-bedroom, 2-bath ranch with an updated kitchen, a fenced-in backyard with a brand new roof and whatever, and it will put together a beautiful description for you. Say you don't like it. You can tell ChatGPT, try again and make it less formal, and it will rewrite it again. You can ask it to remove things. You can ask it all kinds of things. It's very intuitive. It will follow very little instruction at a high level. Number 2 is crafting conversations. That you can ask ChatGPT. Let's say, for example, you put into ChatGPT how to handle as a real estate agent, how to handle a conversation with a seller that wants me to reduce my commission. And ChatGPT will come back to you with a recommendation of how to handle an objection. And ChatGPT went to all the places online with those keywords and put them all together and spit you out an answer. You can say, try again, and it'll give you give me another objection handler, and it will give you another one if you don't like that one. You can put all kinds of things like that. Anything that you're just struggling to come up with the words for, ChatGPT will do. The thing you have to remember about ChatGPT is it does not take into account things like license law, things like code of ethics. So anytime ChatGPT gives you any information, you're going to have to read through it and make sure that it meets our local requirements. But it's going to give you at least the framework of that conversation you're trying to have.
So it'd be handy whenever you're trying not to flip out on like a or,
Yeah. Like instead of bringing the laptop to me yesterday and me crafting a response for Tania, ChatGPT would have also taken all the cuss words out of her response. Although I'm happy to do it anytime. Right. Connecting AI to other tools. We can set up a lot of automation with AI. So when we look at smart plans are more and more often going to embed AI, is my guess. But you can use this for things like Zapier. I don't know if it's in here and something else I read. We might get to it in a minute. But for example, Zapier is a tool that you can connect to your Google business page. And when someone leaves you a review, it will automatically post a response to that review. So every time you get a review, it's responded to. And so Zapier connects to different platforms that will automatically craft a professional, well-written response to any of the reviews that you get. So you can also connect it to other tools to leverage that communication so you don't have to be the one going in and doing it all the time. Another thing I want to point out is to think that you're going to start using AI to do all of these things is probably unreasonable. I started using ChatGPT to craft simple things like emails. When we put together a new member guide for all of the new agents that come to Keller Williams to give them a little outline of what the Market Center, how to access information, just kind of a get to know us thing. I use ChatGPT to write a lot of that. So start on something simple. Don't start with responding to Google reviews. Walk before you run. Okay, so this playbook goes through the steps to start using AI in your business and things to think about. So 1, pick your AI tool. I like ChatGPT. There is absolutely no reason for that other than it's what I'm familiar with. But we're going to talk about a couple of different ones. 2, create your prompt and then review it and improve it. So pick an AI language model. So like I said, ChatGPT is the one I use. I use the basic one. There is an upgraded version that honestly, I've never run into a problem in ChatGPT where I've been like, oh, I wish I had a fancier version of it. Maybe someday I will, but for everything I've done right now, I use the free version of it. Bard is one that's built by Google. It's less common. For the first time heard about it at MegaCamp. I don't know a lot about it, but I know that it's the Google product, and it says here it'll try to make Google search results easier to understand by summarizing them conversationally. I don't know why I would need that, but the point here is there are a lot of different ones you can use. My opinion, ChatGPT is super easy to use. Hopefully I can show it to you at the end of this hour, but we'll see if it works. Okay, create your prompt. I learned this the hard way. I wish I would have had this playbook when I was starting to use it. I think this is spot on and probably the most important thing we talk about today. When you're using, I'm just going to say ChatGPT, any form of AI. When you're using it, you really need to tell it these 3 things. There are so many times that it would give me a response and I would go back and ask it to include one of these 3 things. So tell the AI exactly who you're speaking to or writing for so that it can tailor its response to that audience. So identify the audience. Sometimes I'm talking to you guys as agents. As your team leader and your managing broker, I am communicating to you. Sometimes I'm communicating to the general public about real estate information. So be specific. You'll literally tell, especially social media, if you're using it to write social media posts, I always start with tell the general public because that's our audience on social media. If I want something, let's say I'm going to market Business Planning Clinic on our business page. So I want to invite any other real estate agent to our Business Planning Clinic. Then I will say, write a social media post for real estate agents, inviting them to whatever. So always say who your audience is. Maybe it's a specific client, maybe it's a niche group of people, maybe it's the general public, maybe it's first-time home buyers, but tell it who your audience is. It's going to help that response be a lot better with a lot less editing by you. Number 2, set the tone and style. So define the tone, formal or casual. I think it also helps to tell the AI where you're putting this. So I'll always say, write an email, write a formal letter, write a social media post. I think that also helps. The AI understands that depending on the platform, it will kind of predict what your tone is. But I will often say formal or casual. Those are the 2 most common words that I use when I'm asking it to do something. You can also tell it to be funny. If you say write a humorous social media post, it will write it to be funny. You just have to decide if it's your humor or not. So sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. But if I want something attention grabbing, if I want something funny in an email that I know you guys are going to use, sometimes I ask ChatGPT to come up with an email subject that will grab your attention. I mean, it will do basic things like that. If you're sending out a newsletter, you can ask ChatGPT to come up with the subject line, and it will come up with a catchy subject line for your newsletter based on whatever topic you want in your newsletter. So set the tone and style. And then use proper formatting. If you want specific formatting, you need to tell it that. This may mean telling it what you're creating, explaining how long you want it to be, or if you want bullet points. Like I said, it can take a big idea and shrink it down into something very small, or it can just take a jumbled mess of your thoughts and make it into a very formal professional paragraph or something. You can tell it to write a social media post and use emojis. So we know that when people are scrolling, they tend to stop at things like emojis. They're less likely to read a whole paragraph than they are to see emojis that break that up, and it feels like it's just easier to read. So ChatGPT will do that for you, where it will format it with emojis and it will break up the content of the post. So make sure, depending on what you're using it for, that you're asking it to use proper formatting. Okay, an example here, a poor prompt would be write me a postcard. A better prompt would be write me a 3 to 4 sentence postcard about real estate. You could say write me a 3 to 4 sentence postcard about a house that just sold in a desirable neighborhood. I mean, you could get as specific as that if you're sending out your just sold postcards. I want to run through this example really quick and then we'll move on. I'm a real estate agent and want to write a postcard for my clients who I've sold a home to. You hit your audience. I want my postcard to be humorous and conversational, yet professional and lighthearted. There's your tone and style. Make it 3 to 4 sentences long. It should contain one interesting fact about residential real estate in Austin, Texas, and should have a call to action for them to call me on my cell phone if they want additional help. It'll take you 30 seconds to write that out to Chat GPT, and it will spit that out right back to you. Dawn said, I searched Google for a good prompt for my bio. It was amazing. Yeah, and Google will do a lot. One thing that, Adam, I think we were talking about this morning. One of the things to keep in mind, AI is a content generator. It is not a search engine. So don't get the two of those confused. There is not necessarily accurate information inside of ChatGPT. So like when Dawn wants a good prompt for her bio, she may want to go research examples of a good prompt and then have ChatGPT write it for her so that it's very clean and catchy and whatever. But don't mix up that artificial intelligence is not a search engine. It may not be factual. What was the example you gave? See, I told you weren't going to have to talk this morning, and now I'm putting you on the spot. What is the example you gave me just before we started?
So there is a website, you guys may have probably like in the middle of the night searched random questions, and there's a website, it's like Quora or whatever, and it's people asking questions and real people answering them. And, you know, the information's terrible, but whatever. It integrated AI. And so AI starts to answer those questions, but Google wanted to use Quora as results, so it had real people answers to questions. So now Google and Quora are both using AI, but they don't know it. So answers are starting to eat themselves in a sense, where Google's looking for verification of something because it doesn't trust AI, and it's going to websites that are now using AI itself. So it's just two liars lying to each other. So you got to be careful. That's why you go to Wikipedia.
Someone believes that that's the right thing to do. Don't go to Wikipedia.
Yeah, it's kind of like high level BS.
AI, the best use of this in my mind is to take something that you already know is factual and true and valuable, and to clean it up and format it in a way that is going to help you generate leads on whatever platform you're putting it on. So you're not going to ask ChatGPT to give you stats on the Bloomington Normal or Peoria real estate markets. ChatGPT doesn't know that, but you can say to write something about the fact that home sales are down 18% year over year. You can ask it to do that. You just can't ask it to give you factual information. So just be mindful of that. Okay. Let's keep going through this. This pro tip at the bottom says many of the AI-driven systems of today are conversational. If you don't like a response that it provides, tell it to try again, ask another question, or the same question in another way. Okay, number 3 is review and improve. So this is a really complex, in my mind, graphic to just say that you need to review this and read it over pretty thoroughly and make sure that this says what you want it to say. Don't assume, kind of like Adam said, that whatever ChatGPT has grabbed from the internet is accurate to what you want. I had ChatGPT write a job description for us not long ago, and there was probably 70% of it was accurate. I even typed in, please create a Keller Williams job description. And then it specifically went out and looked at the Keller Williams job descriptions that were out there. And I was surprised. It was probably 70% accurate to what we wanted. But still, there were some things that it grabbed that was like, okay, this is just not applicable to our market or just not what I need. So make sure that you're going through this and you're reviewing the content it comes out with. This we've kind of already talked through a lot of this graphic. So drafting content, these are kind of the places that the data comes from. So in the video that we watched, we talked about the data of all of these x-rays. That is such a tangible concept. I think it's really, that's why I wanted to show that. A lot of the data that we deal with is much less tangible. It's more about the patterns of how people interact with content. So I don't think, scientific journals, there's probably not a lot of data in our world that's coming from scientific journals, but a lot of our data comes from the internet. It comes from different forums and things. It comes from places that people are communicating and interacting with. Here's this large language model. You'll see ChatGPT on here. This is going through the prompts that we talked about, and your output is whatever you're asking it to do. Other AI, connecting AI to other tools, existing technology like Zoom, Google, email, etc. Or you have things like, I'm not going to get into all of this, but you have website applications, things like Hootsuite, and we don't necessarily get into that a whole lot. I think like I said, I think the best place to start is to use AI in the communication that you're probably already doing. So you have some form of a listing presentation in the market we're heading into, or I would argue we're in right now. It is a great time to up your listing presentation game. That's a great place to start. Just play with it, and don't use AI to create something without, you want it to create something that then you can use, and like a listing presentation is not something that's just going to go out live to people. You're going to put it into some kind of a template that you already have. There are AI generators. There are generators that use AI to create graphic things like marketing materials. So you could find an AI platform that will create the whole listing presentation, the formatting of it, the marketing behind it, the thing that you're maybe like, okay, I know what to say, but I don't know how to make this look pretty. You can take a picture. I could take a picture of myself, and AI will put me on a beach at 65 years old, doing whatever I asked it to do. No. But you've seen those. Nick Baldwin did one not long ago where he used AI to generate a picture of himself with like different facial hair or something. So AI will not just do written content. It will do all kinds of things. So keep that in mind. Like if you want it to create marketing content, marketing graphics for you, it will do that. You're probably going to get into some paid AI, but it will do that. Okay, we went through all of this. I want to skip through this. This is a 13-page document. I'm going to show you how to access these. But I wanted to get through, here's the Zapier example. Okay, connecting AI to other tools. My hope is that if you guys all start playing with AI and kind of learning how to use it over the next couple of months, as we become better at it, we have the opportunity to connect it to other tools. This is the Zapier example that I was giving you, that it will automatically reply to Google reviews. We already have, you see places like Boomtown, like Commissions Inc., those places use AI to communicate back to clients to try to warm up a lead for you. So think about all those help desks that you use, where it says type in what you have a question about, and it spits you out like 3 possible things and says, was this what you were looking for? That is all AI. That is them taking all the common questions in a database and trying to guess what you're looking for, and then you have to select to chat with someone if that's not what you're looking for. We have the opportunity to plug AI into smart plans, into texting, and into lead follow-up, things like that. API Nation, I'm not going to get into today, but if you were here last week and you listened to Mike Hillary, he talked about this connection to API Nation. That is exactly it. API Nation takes leads you could be getting from everywhere, and it brings them all to one place. It starts to communicate with them in a systematic way. It sends them the emails and the text messages. It reminds you to call them. In some cases, it will call them, and it tries to get somebody to communicate back with you so that Tom doesn't have to follow up with 40 people in one day. Maybe Tom's following up with 5 people, and the integration to API Nation is running in the background, and it's following up with the other 30, 35, whatever. So the next phase, when you've figured out how to use AI, is to connect it. And this is really where your leverage happens. If you go to Family Reunion in February, you're going to hear a whole bunch of teams. I promise you, this is going to be a huge topic of conversation because, like I said, we are in a market where we're trying to keep expenses as low as possible. AI can replace inside sales agents really fast because inside sales agents are that human element of just being on the phone and following up and following up and following up. And AI can do that, unfortunately, for a lot less money than a human person sitting at a computer, and it can do it a lot faster. So this is something I believe we're going to hear a lot about in the next 12 months. You can also use it to do things like enhanced virtual meetings. I don't know how many of those you guys are really doing. Streamlining social media posting, we talked about that one. The last thing I wanted to hit on was Gary's quote, "Change is inevitable and participation is optional." We hear Gary say this all the time. Whether we like it or not, AI is a part of our life. You guys, it's affecting you whether you realize it or not, because we all have smartphones. When we have that crazy thing happen where you talk about something and then it shows up on your phone, and we all kind of laugh and we're like, oh, China's listening, or whatever your response to that is, that's AI. It exists in our world whether we like it or not. We're either going to use it to grow our business, or we're going to be the content that it's scraping and sending out to people to grow their business. So we might as well learn how to use it. And the beautiful thing about AI is most of these platforms know that people using AI are looking for leverage, and they make it easy to use. ChatGPT is the easiest thing. It runs like a search engine. You type in exactly what you want and it spits it back out. I'll see if it'll work here. And I couldn't log in before.
Is it a native app or is it a web-based?
It's a web. I don't know if it is an app. Is it? Okay, ChatGPT login. This is the login. We're gonna see if it will work this time. Yes. Okay. So it is. See, look at all of this. I rewrote a sexual harassment policy on this. So all the policies that I've been rewriting come from ChatGPT. Okay, so if I wanted ChatGPT to write a description of a home in 5 sentences. Write a description of a home with 3 bedrooms. Well, I don't have, do you have an address to throw at me? You want me to do your house? 3 bedrooms. Okay, write it. Amber said, give it an address and it will pull all of that. Write a description for the home located at what? Bloomington. I'm gonna say write a social media description. Let's say use emojis and format the description casually. Okay, if I put more thought into this, it'll probably give a better response, but this is how fast it will give this to you. Home sweet home, nestled in the heart of Bloomington, this charming 3-bed, 2-bathroom abode at 2106 Altoona is the stuff of dreams. Spacious living area for endless movie nights, modern kitchen, cozy backyard oasis, blah, blah, blah. It gives you emojis, it gives you hashtags. You could clean this up. Let's say they recently added a bedroom in the basement and now it's a 4-bedroom. You have to go back and make sure that the information it's giving is accurate. But this takes 90% of the work out of this for you. So if you use it for, just start by using it for things like this. Oh, I just opened my chat window. If you, it's so easy. So for all of us that just get frozen in content creation, this is even a place to just go to give yourself ideas.
Paralysis out of it.
It really does. Takes the paralysis out. You're right. So it saves all of these. So I use it for all kinds of different things, but ChatGPT, it's free. You can create your own login and it saves the things that you ask it for. If you say, try again, it'll try again. It'll reformat it. It'll give you something different. So the next thing I just wanted to make sure that you guys know, you knew how to access. There are, I don't remember how many from Mega Camp. I think right around 15 to 20 of these playbooks. I've told you before where to find them, but I thought I'd show you since I'm sharing my screen. I'm on the Command homepage. If you go to Connect, inside of here, you just have to scroll down and it will say playbooks right here on the right. Playbooks. Click there. And it's going to give you, this is the first one that's up. It's going to give you, there are 15 of them. So if you're looking for an operation, well, that's case where you don't want, I have the leadership version of it. Online leads playbook, a social media playbook, database assessment. There's even a video that goes with the database assessment, an ISA model. There's videos that go with some of these. Yours is going to look slightly different. Like I said, I have the leadership side of it, but these are all just, it'll tell you how many views they've gotten. So you can kind of gauge that by how much people have liked them. But this is a great place. They've started to update this after every one of our conferences. So even if you didn't go to Mega Camp, if you just want to look at all these playbooks, these are all accessible to you guys inside of Command and Connect. Okay. 9:56. Any questions or thoughts? Yeah, Minu.
First of all, you did an amazing job in explaining today. It was a very well thought and very put together presentation. Thank you, Megan. That's it's so funny that I just came back from fall meeting from Illinois Realtors, and we had a good 2-hour session on AI. And there was a lady called Monica. I'm forgetting her last name. She did the whole presentation. Your presentation is much better than hers was.
Thank you.
But what my intake was from that meeting was, because I went with, everybody knows that I'm not a tech person. I'm a very old school girl for my real estate career. But my takeaway from that was huge. Like you said, change is inevitable. You cannot stop that any change is coming. We have to learn to accept, learn how to adapt it and everything. Tommy Choi, who is the vice president-elect for our IR, he gave an example which really blows my mind, and I wanted to share with all of you the power of AI in today's market for real estate industry. He created an online campaign where, because we have such a low inventory going on right now in every market, he created an online campaign, and he chose his audience, and he threw that out through social media. It reached thousands of people. Out of that, he created a seminar. From those 1,600 signed up for that seminar. And they showed up. Out of those 600 numbers, he picked up 68 leads. And I'm talking about less than 20 days of work. Out of that 68 leads, they convert into 18 transactions. Wow. So this is the power of AI. And I had no idea before going to that class what AI can do to us, business. This is powerful stuff. And how you presented, Megan, even though I'm not a tech girl, I am going to look into this and I'm going to start using this. Thank you for doing this sales meeting. Amazing information. Good job. Good job.
You. And if you don't follow Tommy Choi, shameless plug, he's a KW agent. He runs a team out of Chicago, and he has, not only are they a highly productive team, but he has really gotten into the space of coaching and training and teaching. So a lot of the things that he's doing that he's found that works, he shares back on social media. So if you don't follow him on Facebook and Instagram, Tommy Choi, I would highly recommend following him. He puts out, now some of his success has come from the fact that he has a huge following already. So it's something to work up to, but he's doing a great job of leveraging that following to get a lot of leads out of it. So that's a great point, Minu. And any other thoughts? All right, wants and needs.
Can I
Um,
talk about it? I have a listing which I actually canceled it few days back, which will be on the market again. It is 505 West Grove Street. The house was not in a good condition, smelled, everything, and we have done a tons of job. Probably in a week time, it is going to show up again as an active listing. If anybody has a first-time home buyer or an investor, that house used to generate $950 monthly rent when it was in such a bad shape. Now with all this new updates which we have done, $1,000 is, I mean, by far, and it's a good location. So just keep in mind, if you guys have anybody for under $100,000, that will be a good opportunity. Thank you.
Is, Lucinda asked, is that West Grove?
Yes, it will be active in a week time. We are finishing up right now and taking pictures, new pictures before we'll make it active.
Perfect. Thank you.
Hi, this is Tom. I have a couple needs. I need something up to 150, kind of a quasi fixer upper. Couple things necessary, a fenced in yard, 2 bedrooms, 2 to 3 bedrooms, 1.5 to 2 baths. On the northwest side of Bloomington, normal, anything like that. And also I need another property up to 260. This one needs to be updated. It's for a single lady. She would prefer to have no backyard neighbors, but somewhat privacy. And she's ready to go. So if you got anything, Jesse just sold one on Rutherford, that would have been perfect. So a ranch would be preferred, but anything you got, let me know. Thanks.
Hey, Tom, we have 206 Wildflower in Bloomington.
Be perfect for that, ethics.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Anybody else? All right. Have a great day, guys. Reminder, if you're around the Market Center at noon, please come eat some Biaggi's. Thanks, guys.